Okay, let's just jump right in. Welcome to this new explainer series, Decode Healthcare with Harshal. Today, we're laying down the absolute foundation of ICD-10 CM coding. And look, we're skipping all the academic fluff. We're getting straight to the mechanics that actually impact your day-to-day workflow. Because getting this wrong, it has massive consequences. We aren't here to just memorize a dictionary, right? We're here to understand exactly how we translate patient care into verifiable, clean data. If your foundation is shaky here, literally everything else crumbles. So let's lock in the basics.
So want to guarantee a claim denial? Seriously. Because here's the reality. Medical coding isn't just about finding numbers on a screen. It's about data integrity. It's about actually securing the revenue for the care provided. Imagine losing thousands of dollars on a complex fracture claim simply because you forgot a single letter, like an A for active treatment. Making a rookie shortcut mistake doesn't just look bad, it costs serious money. It creates major administrative bottlenecks, and it gets claims kicked right back to your desk.
To stop those costly denials in their tracks, we have to master the two core pillars of a coder's workflow. On one side, you've got the alphabetic index. That's your initial alpha lookup. On the other side, the tabular list, which is your 22-chapter source of truth. There is a very strict dichotomy here between just searching for a term and actually verifying the final code. Understanding how these two distinct tools interact, that is the absolute secret to a clean claim. So, let's break down exactly what each one does. First up, the alphabetic index. It is exactly what it sounds like, an alphabetical list of diseases, injuries, and conditions. But here's the catch. You use it only to begin your search. It's organized by condition, so you'll find your main terms in bold. Think of looking up a primary term like appendicitis or a specific fracture. It's a fantastic map to point you in the right direction when you're staring down a complex chart. But let me be incredibly clear here, it is never your final stop. You can absolutely never code directly from the index alone.
Once you have that map and a preliminary code in hand, you move to your ultimate destination, which is the tabular list. This is a structured, numerically sequenced list of codes divided up into 22 chapters based on body system or condition. This right here, this is the definitive authority. Every single code available for assignment is housed and verified in this list. So whether you're scrolling through Chapter 9 for the circulatory system or Chapter 19 for injuries, the tabular list is where the exact specificity of your code is confirmed.
And that brings us to the ultimate trap, the cardinal sin of medical coding. Taking a shortcut by grabbing a code from the index and just skipping the tabular list altogether. Look, I get it. When you're slammed with charts and racing against a tight deadline, it's incredibly tempting to just look up a term, see a code sitting right next to it, and plug it in to save a few seconds. But doing that, it's basically walking across a minefield blindfolded. It's a gamble, and you will eventually lose. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the absolute law of the land, the CMS official guidelines for coding and reporting. Specifically, Section IA1 states this explicitly. It says, it is essential to use both the alphabetic index and tabular list when locating and assigning a code. This isn't just some best practice from a textbook or a friendly suggestion. It's a federal guideline. We must always prioritize the CMS guidelines over everything else, and they explicitly warn us that the index does not always provide the full valid code. So why exactly does this shortcut fail so catastrophically? Well, the index simply doesn't give you the full picture. It will frequently list a code with a dash at the end. That dash is practically screaming at you that additional characters are required. If you skip the tabular list, you're going to miss required seventh characters, like an A for an initial encounter. You'll skip vital code first instructional notes. You'll completely ignore underlying etiology rules. You'll fail to specify laterality, like left versus right, and you'll leave critical placeholder X characters completely blank. Without those elements, your code is functionally useless. It's totally invalid. The choice here is practically black and white. Relying on the index alone traps you with incomplete codes, missed instructional notes, and guaranteed denials. Honestly, it's a massive red flag for any auditor. But taking that extra moment to cross-reference and verify in the tabular list, that ensures full 7-character accuracy, it ensures strict compliance with all includes and excludes notes, and most importantly, it gets you a verified clean claim that gets paid the very first time. Which brings us to the golden rule of this explainer. You must use both. I literally cannot emphasize this enough. Aggressively drill this into your daily workflow. Data integrity and the financial health of your healthcare facility depend entirely on using the alphabetic index and the tabular list in perfect tandem. One is your compass, the other is your destination. You simply cannot successfully navigate a chart without both of them.
To make this foolproof, here is your non-negotiable three-step process. Step 1, search the alphabetic index for your main term just to get your bearings. Step 2, take that preliminary code and meticulously verify it in the tabular list. I mean, read every single instructional note, check for laterality, and hunt for those required 7th characters. Step 3, assign the complete, fully specified code. If you do this every single time, without exception, you guarantee you are coding to the highest level of specificity possible.
By mastering this essential survival tip today, you're already well ahead of the game. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you want to keep sharpening your skills, avoiding those costly denials, and learning exactly how to protect your organization's revenue, make sure to subscribe to Decode More Healthcare Secrets with us. But before we go, I want to leave you with this one thought. You know you need all the characters, right? And you know you absolutely must verify them in the tabular list. But how are these codes actually built? What do those 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 alphanumeric characters actually represent in the real world when dealing with a patient's diagnosis? Well, stick around for part 2, where we'll tear down the exact format and structure of ICD-10 CM codes, character by character. I'll see you there.